Make sure you subscribe to the channel, as next week we're going to be doing Lions at Kansas City preseason live watch party, play-by-play. It's going to be great. Let's go. We are doing the winners and losers for preseason week 1. Lions facing the Giants. It was an interesting game, to say the least here. A lot to cover in here. And first, we're going to start with the winners, and then we'll get to the losers. The first winner on my list here is Sione Vaki. Vaki, the Lions rookie running back, 4th-round pick, shined, in my opinion, very well last night. He had 4 carries for 29 yards, 0 touchdowns along a 15, an average of nearly 8 yards a carry. Vaki showed versatility, but most importantly, patience in the pocket with the bad offensive line that he was playing with, finding the hole, juking, great hips and thighs. This guy was probably the biggest winner for me from the game. It showed that he has skill that the Lions really, really like. And in my opinion, this is what the unofficial depth chart is right now. Craig Reynolds is RB3, Sione Vaki RB4. I think we're going to see a switching of the guard here very soon, where Sione Vaki will be RB3, just because he brings a great element, different from other skill set of the running backs that we have, like David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. And it doesn't mean Craig Reynolds did bad, because I don't think he is bad at all. It's just Sione Vaki brings a different element, more dynamic play, and that is something that the Lions really like. That's going to be your 4 running backs, folks. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Craig Reynolds, Sione Vaki. Really good set pair for running backs for the Detroit Lions. So question for you. Pick an RB3. Do you have Craig Reynolds being RB3, put CR? Do you have Sione Vaki being RB3, SV? Or Jermar Jefferson? Give me your thoughts in the comments below. Next winner on my list here is Hendon Hooker. Lions backup quarterback battle that was taking place, and him and Sudfield are completely different quarterbacks. One has actually something that you can look forward to. The other one is terrible. Bad play by Mr. Sudfield. And with Hendon Hooker, it wasn't the greatest performance, right? He's not the greatest quarterback in the world. I don't think he is QB1 or anything like that. But he showed strong arm, strength, patience in the pocket. He used his legs. He's fast. If the play break down, that's how he's getting first downs. The one thing I'd say about Hendon Hooker is you just got to slow down, maybe slide. You don't want to take the big, gigantic hits. You don't want to be an Anthony Richardson type of player. He has a lot of value for the Lions right now. I don't know if he'll end up being QB2, right? The Lions could look to get another quarterback, but very good promise for Hendon Hooker. I like what I saw from him, and that's all you can really ask for right now for Hooker. Each game is going to get better. He'll get more reps. Hopefully, this concussion that he had won't hamper him for next week preseason game. I really enjoy going to sports games and concerts, all of that. It's one of my favorite things to do outside of, obviously, work and hanging out with family. And I like to do it smart by saving money, and that's why you need to get Game Time. They have killer deals, last-minute tickets, and lowest prices guaranteed, where you can stop stressing and start getting hyped for the fun that you're going to have. Look, it is easy to find and buy tickets for any kind of event in your area, whether that's sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, or whatever. With their lowest prices guaranteed, that's the Game Time guaranteed, which means you're always getting the best prices. And if you find tickets in the same area section or less, Game Time is going to credit you 110% of the difference. You can get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, baseball, basketball, concerts, and more. In the middle screenshot, by the way, I think it is a fantastic feature of the app. It shows you where your seat is, and it'll move your phone left to right. You can see the surrounding area like a 3D live photo. All you got to do is download Game Time. You plug in Chat Sports, and you're going to get $20 off your very first purchase. Again, download Game Time. Go to the redeem code section, plug in Chat Sports. You're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. You do got to create an account. You got to have an email to save that money. The link and information is going to be in the comment section and description of this video. So if you are buying Lions tickets this year, any sort of tickets, use Game Time. Save that money. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets prices with lowest prices guaranteed. My next winner on my list here is Ennis Rakestraw, the rookie cornerback. He was on the field for some time, total 4 tackles. I like what I saw from Rakestraw, knocking the ball down. He stayed with his receiver. He is a physical guy and very promising start, especially after we're losing Emmanuel Mosley for a significant portion of this season. Ennis Rakestraw, man, he is really developing fairly quickly, quicker than I think even I expected so far, and that's a really good thing. We just got to continue to work at his craft with the next couple preseason games out there. And look, if he continues to go in the right direction here, that trade for Carlton Davis, the Lions may not have to extend him at the end of the year because Rakestraw will be able to take that next step. Very good job from the young rookie right now. Proud of the work that he did so far. And the Lions just continue to find players in the draft to help this team, and he was one of those individuals that got it done. Question for you before we continue on with the other winners. Who is the biggest winner for you? Name a player in the comments below. My next winner on my list is Lions nickel cornerback Amik Robertson. Again, he showed very, very good patience, waited, watched what was going on, knocked the football down. Amik Robertson made 2 pass defenses, knocking it down, staying with the receiver, physical, and he's letting his presence known that, yes, I can play the game. I understand about Ennis Rakestraw. I understand about Terry and Arnold, but I am here too. And to me, he was a really nice option for the Detroit Lions in taking that next step. Another one on our list here is Broderic Martin. Boy, oh boy, Broderic Martin looked really good, if you ask me. He was getting pressure. He had a sack. He was stopping the run. In the first quarter of the game, the Lions' defensive line was, in my opinion, a strength of this team. The whole defense was in the first quarter, and Broderic Martin was a big reason for that, and it's good to see a nice little jump for him. We've been hearing about him in training camp, right, changing his physique, all of that, and it produced in the preseason game. So a good thing going on. I have some more winners here, and I'm going to go with Jake Bates is a winner for the Detroit Lions, and he made the field goal. And that's what you want to see him do. He's 1-1 for field goal. That's 100%. We wanted to see a little bit more, but the only other options they had was to kick a field goal basically at the 5-yard line or a 20 to a 30-yard field goal, in which to me, yeah, I get it. You want to give him reps, and I understand it that he's missed some of those in training camp, but I was looking to see what the quarterbacks were doing, and I would rather have that go there. But so far, so good. Jake Bates didn't do great off the new kickoff rule. It looked like he slipped or something of that nature. And that was something that he has to work on going forward. And Dan Campbell was talking about that, right? He was talking about how it's got to get better. Next winner on my list is wide receiver Isaiah Williams. He made the best of all the opportunities, I feel like, throughout this game. He had 4 receptions for 35 yards and 8.5 average, and he probably could have had more, but there was bad passes done by Nate Sudfeld. We picked him up as an undrafted rookie. We gave him a decent signing bonus, and guess what? He produced on game day. And that's what you got to do. It's when the lights are on. And I don't know if Isaiah Williams is going to make this roster because it's going to be quite difficult, let's be honest here, because of the competition. With that said, that's all he can do is exactly what he's doing. Shout out to Isaiah Williams. Another winner on my list here is Isaac Ukwu. He was the edge rusher that was in this game, a guy who we started to hear about last week in training camp, starting to make his presence known. And that's really, really good for him. And that's what you want to see, right? You want to see him get out there and do a good job, and that's exactly what he did. Another one on my list is safety Brandon Joseph. When you get an interception, you are going to be a winner on my list. And he did that as well, even though it says 0 here. He did get the interception. 3 solo tackles, total of 3. Love what I saw from Brandon Joseph. It's going to be difficult for him to make this squad, but again, just like Isaiah Williams, he got it done when the lights are on. That's all you can ask for. Last winner on my list here is Malik Jefferson, the linebacker. You say, who is this guy? Well, this is the guy that was getting it done on the field last night. He had a total of 6 tackles, 2 solo, 1 tackles for loss, 0 interceptions, a name that we didn't talk about at all, and a name that showed up on Sunday. But not everything is going to be great, right? There's going to be losers, and that's what we're going to get into right now. The biggest loser here on my list is the injuries. Oh, my God, Connor Galvin. It looks like he could be done for the year. Hendon Hooker had a concussion. Antoine Green, concussion. The injuries in the game was brutal, and injuries suck. They're always going to be on this list because, especially in preseason, you don't want to see any injuries, and we lost basically 2 players that looked like the significant injuries and then 2 with concussions, so we got to get better there. Question for you. Biggest preseason week 1 loser. Name it in the comments below. You can name a player. You can name injuries. Whatever you want. Let me know. Next loser on my list here is the backup offensive line. I thought they did a poor job in the game. There was really no holes for Jamar Jefferson to run through or even Donovan Might. Sione Vaki was having hard times, even though he was making plays. That's why I put him on his winner list, because the offensive line wasn't good for the backup roles. They got to fix this. We know what Dan Skipper's going to do, right? Owusaka, but there's other players got to step up. Colby Sorsdale's got to do a better job. Giovanni Manu is a project. Just got to get better with the backup offensive line. I thought the flags were pretty bad in this game, and you're going to have that when it comes to the Detroit Lions in preseason game because they're young players, not a lot of playing time. You're going to get flags, but if you want to be a sound football team, you need to do better from that aspect. You just need to do it better. A player who's a loser on my list is Maurice Alexander. When you basically, the first 2 times you touch a ball and you fumble twice as a kick/punt returner, and that's what your niche is, that is a significant loser. He's not going to make the team. I don't care if it was rainy out there. You cannot do that, and your whole niche is that. Right? That's what you have to do, right? You have to explode. In the last couple of years, he did well in preseason. He still didn't make the roster. He did booty cheeks. That's not good for him. And last, and surely least for me, I think we all know who's going to be on this list, and that's Mr. Nate Sudfeld. He played awful. He was terrible. I don't even really want to put up the stats because it was so depressing. When he was in there, he was uncomfortable in the pocket. He looked jittery. He took 4 sacks, loss of 22 yards. His passes were inaccurate within 2 to 3 yards of receiver. Unacceptable when you're doing a 10-yard out route and your pass is off by 2 to 3 yards. That is not NFL quarterback. That's not even UFL quarterback. We're talking about high school level right there. There's no way this man's made the roster, and it was disgraceful to watch how poor he played. And this is a problem. If the Lions are going to stick with him as on this roster, that's an issue. We need to get better at that position, not named Jared Goff. And Hendon Hooker's developing, so I'm going to give him a little pass there on some of the things. He looked like the veteran compared to Nate Sudfeld, who looked the undrafted rookie. It was really, really bad. Folks, you're going to want to subscribe to the channel because we are breaking Lions news and rumors out there. With that said, folks, adios.